because I feel like a lot of women, and maybe even men certainly can have breast cancer as well. A lot of people do go through it, and I just realized I was so fearful when it happened. I was terrified to look up information for myself. I didn't want to listen to podcasts. I was so scared of what I thought I might find. Come to find out, once I went through the process and once I got on the other side and I realized I'm very lucky, a lot of the fears that I had really were in my head. And a lot of them were based on other people's experiences. And I wanted to do my best to stay present and stay positive. I chose not to talk about it to people because that, to me, was an easier way to handle it. And I think it's an easier way for a lot of people to handle things. Because when you are nervous about something and you don't want to stay in that energy and live in that energy, telling other people can make that energy perpetuate, right? You're going to constantly have people going, "Are you okay?"